We INFJs just hate religion and love spirituality. But is that really the case? Well, just as is the case with everything in life, it's not that black and white. There are important factors that determine our attitude towards those two. But before we talk about those, let's get a few things out of the way. You've probably heard that INFJs are an incredibly spiritual bunch. But then again, you may have also heard that most INFJs are atheists or agnostic. So which one is it? Well, researchers conducted a poll on a small volunteer group. The results were interesting, to say the least. 36% identified as agnostic, atheist, or just non-religious. The same percent identified as Christians, while the remaining 28% identified with some non-Christian religion or as spiritual. The truth is that we INFJs have a bit of a love and hate relationship with religion. Okay, now that I think about it, this might have been too harsh, so scratch that. We may not have a love and hate relationship, but there's definitely some push and pull going on between religion and spirituality. Let's explain this a little bit further, shall we? But before we do, a little disclaimer first. You should be aware that personality type is not a reliable predictor of a person's religious beliefs and practices. These are influenced by a lot of factors, such as upbringing, cultural background, personal experiences, things like that. And yes, let's not forget social environment. This one's huge. And it should be noted that not all INFJs are the same. Obviously, that's the case with all personality types, and we INFJs are no different, at least not in that regard. Our beliefs and attitudes towards religion vary. For some of us, religion is undoubtedly a valuable source of purpose and meaning. But for some, well, let's just say that they are more skeptical towards religion and prefer finding those things through other means. These are the more spiritual types. Anyway, with those few disclaimers out of the way, let's explore the topic further. On one hand, we INFJs are deeply introspective, drawn to meditation and or prayer, and we're obsessed with the desire to make a positive impact on the world. So we tend to find religious beliefs that align with this goal. But on the other hand, we're also independent thinkers, so we're less likely to conform with an established religion if it doesn't resonate with our personal values and experiences. How do we INFJs approach religion, you might ask? Well, pretty much the same way as we approach everything else, really, with an open mind, of course.
Try to keep an open mind.
After all, one of our most defining characteristics is that we keep an open mind towards everything, and religion is no exception. Our inquisitive minds are always looking for reasons within reasons and patterns, especially those relating to people. But again, our relationship with religion, and spirituality for that matter, depends largely on the way we were raised, but it also depends on our journeys of personal growth. It's important for us to see how religious beliefs and practices we come across in life line up with our convictions. It all boils down to whether or not religion makes sense to us. We're INFJs. Of course it all has to make sense, religion included. It's not rare for us INFJs that we abandon religion altogether, or should I say, lose our religion. Like in that song we all love so much. But why? Why do we abandon it? It doesn't seem like the right thing to do, right? Well, we all have our reasons, and the reasons why we INFJs may abandon religion is the hypocrisy of it all.
Prison taught him the false smile, the rubbed hands of hypocrisy.
You see, many INFJs, at least the ones I've encountered, started out in church and then just left. Why might that be? Introducing the hypocrisy factor. After all, if there's anything we INFJs are known for is that we're pretty great at detecting deception. But what does that even mean? Well, it just means that we're exceptionally good at reading people as we pick up on inconsistencies in their behavioral patterns incredibly fast. But then again, at the same time, we always try to see the best in people, and it can take a really long time for us to lose faith in someone we value. But when we do lose faith, when we've had enough, our reaction is so incredibly quick and decisive. That's the famous INFJ door slam.
That door slam was kind of weak.
You may have heard of it, or God forbid experienced it. But before we continue, let's explain the door slam, just in case you're not familiar with it. So what does the door slam mean? It's got its name because it literally feels like a door slammed in your face. If you get a door slam from us INFJs, that means you've hurt us so much that we're no longer investing any of our energy in you. And you might have guessed it, once you reach the door slam point, it's very hard, impossible even, to go back. Anyway, we INFJs can and will door slam the people who betrayed us, and even religion itself. Some might even say God, but I can't really agree with that. You can't door slam God now, can you? A lot of us just shift to a different religion that lines up with our core values. Some are just spiritual without any sort of structure, but there are also some INFJs who reject religion completely. As we mentioned earlier, things have to make sense to us. We may be prone to abstract ideas, but everything still has to make sense to us. It doesn't have to fit anyone else's way of thinking, but it absolutely has to fit INFJs themselves. After all, we hate self-deception just as much as we hate when someone else is misleading us. So if our religious beliefs don't fit how we believe the world works, we won't be happy, for a lack of a better word. And we strongly believe that religion has to make the world make more sense to us, not less. But what happens if it doesn't? Well, what happens is that we'll just find another explanation, which often means turning to science and rational thinking with just a wee bit of spirituality. Don't get me wrong, we INFJs do realize that not everything can be explained rationally, but we do want our beliefs to fit with the explanation we have. If we've decided to put our faith into something larger than ourselves, we want it to answer the questions that matter to us. We want religion to be a safe place for us to ask more questions about life, the universe, things like that. Now that we've covered the reason why INFJs may stray from religion, let's get into the reasons why some of us choose to stay. It's no secret that as INFJs, we are constantly searching for something larger than ourselves, some higher purpose and whatnot.
We serve a higher purpose.
And many of us do that with a certain belief system. Sure, we may find all of that within an established religion, but it's not uncommon for us to walk out our own beliefs in our own way, away from any established religion. The truth is that the more mature and comfortable with ourselves we are, the more we tend to do our own thing. It doesn't necessarily mean that we will do our famous door slam to an organized religion. No, it would be more of a peaceful and respectful walking away type of thing. Unless hurting the innocent is involved, or hurting ourselves on a deeply held principle. In that case, it will absolutely be a door slam. For me personally, there was a time when I almost walked away from religion. I didn't think I needed church to develop a relationship with God. But over time, I realized that fellowship with other believers is incredibly important. I also learned that I shouldn't blame God or the good people for the actions of the bad people of the world. As a result, my faith in God only grew stronger. But that's just me. What about you? No matter if you're an INFJ or not, we'd like to know about your very own religious or spiritual journey. Let us know in the comments down below. Also, if you want to learn more about why INFJs just might be the smartest personality type, make sure to click on the video we did on the topic. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and remember, we're all still improving, so why not improve together, one video at a time? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.